Hey everybody, and Tony here with a review of Gaetano Donizetti's Maria Stuarda, which was live from Genova's Teatro Carlo Felice. The conductor was Andrei Jurkevich, the production was done by Alfonso Antoniozzi, the sets were done by Monica Manganelli, the costumes were done by Gianluca Falaschi, the lights were handled by Luciano Novelli, and the chorus master was Franco Sebastiani. Maria Stuarda is yet another one of Donizetti's famous operas from the Queen's trilogy. This was based on the play written by Friedrich Schiller, Maria Stuart, but unlike the play, the opera mainly has 6 characters: Maria Stuarda, Elisabetta I, Roberto Leicester, Lord Cecil, Talbot, and Anna Kennedy, whereas in Schiller's play, there were a lot more characters. Now, this opera had a very interesting history. After its premiere in 1835, it was changed into another opera, Buondelmonte, in which the entire plot was relocated from England all the way up to Italy, though it involved different characters and it involved something a little bit more different, but still kept the basic plot and the arias. It was rediscovered in 1958, but was then popularized in the 60s with Lela Gencer in the title role of Maria Stuarda and Shirley Verrett singing the role of her rival, Elisabetta I. The basic plot of this opera goes like this. Elisabetta is engaged to Dauphin Francois in order to unite England and France. At the same time, she is willing to pardon her cousin, Maria Stuarda, who has been imprisoned. However, while she is engaged to Dauphin Francois, her heart still goes out to Roberto Leicester. What she doesn't know until much later is that Leicester still has feelings for Maria Stuarda. Cut to Maria, who is reminiscing her childhood in France alongside her handmaid, Hannah Kennedy, and then we hear Elisabetta's hunting troupe approaching as Maria is full of disgust. Leicester warns Maria that she should be composed in front of Queen Elisabetta, which then leads to the confrontation scene where Maria first pleads to be forgiven by her cousin, and she just doesn't want the crown, but she just wants forgiveness and friendship, whereas Elisabetta looks upon her with scorn. Now, for those of you who know a little bit of history will also realize that Mary Stuart and Queen Elizabeth I never met, and this plot device was mainly invented by Friedrich Schiller in this play. Maria, who can no longer tolerate Elisabetta's accusations, proceeds to call her a vile bastard and is led away in chains. Elisabetta is still unsure whether she wants to sign the death warrant as issued by Cecil, but she decides to go on with it anyway, and Maria, while pleading for her innocence, goes up to the scaffold to her death. My basic experience with this opera is mainly limited to the arias, most notably Elisabetta's A quando all'ara scorgemi, which then leads the cabaletta Ad al ciel discenda un raggio, Maria's O nube che lieve, which then leads to the cabaletta Nella pace nel mesto riposo, and the ever-famous confrontation scene between Maria Stuarda and Elisabetta, which has Maria spout out Vil bastarda dal tuo pie, and Elisabetta calls up the guards to take her away in chains, and of course, the final scene involving Maria before she is led up to the scaffold, A se un giorno, and even the confession scene between Maria and Talbot, Quando di luce rosea, which I definitely enjoy listening to, but the absolute highlight that I am anticipating more than anything else in this particular opera has to be the confrontation scene, because it is so full of primary colored passions and a lot of electricity sparking between Elisabetta and Maria. With that said, let's get on to what I thought about the production. Overall, I found it to be very elegant. It has that sense of intricacy, and it looks really gorgeous, and it has that feeling of grandeur, which I definitely enjoy in opera. And in terms of the costumes, they were quite interesting as well. However, I got the feeling that nearly all the characters, both the men and the women, were wearing gowns instead of the men being in tights and all of these poofy shorts, and the women mainly being in poofy skirts. And to add a little bit more distinction between the women and the men, the women's gowns are a little bit poofier than the men's, mainly in the skirt area. But overall, it was really wonderful to look at because of all the colors being used, and you really have a great mixture of the color palette being used for Queen Elizabeth's costume in the confrontation scene, and even that of Maria's yellow and black gown. And what I also noticed is that each of the characters wear different colored gowns. Like, for example, we have Lester wearing a sea green type of gown, and Cecil wearing all red, and Talbot wearing all black. And the absolute highlight in terms of the costumes definitely has to be Maria's execution costume, which looked lovely on her, as if to say that if she's going to die like a queen, she might as well be executed like a queen. So overall, I found the production and costumes to be absolutely stylish. There was a lot of colors being used in terms of the costumes, and it looked rather magnetic. And now we get to the singers, starting off with Elena Mosuc, who sang our titular heroine, Maria Stuarda. Now, what you need in this particular role is a true dramatic coloratura soprano. Interestingly enough, this role was first written by the soprano Giuseppina Ronzi de Benis, but it was then popularized by the young yet ill-fated mezzo/soprano Maria Malibran. Now, what's also interesting about this role is that this has also been sung by mezzos, most notably Joyce DiDonato, Janet Baker, and Anne Murray, because of the fact that Maria Malibran also had a wide range, reaching from the depths of a contralto to the high notes of a high soprano. And what you really need in Maria Stuarda is a lot of flexibility, not only in terms of notes, but also in terms of color. A lot of successful Maria Stuardas have also sung the likes of Norma, Odabella, Violetta, Marguerite de Valois, the Marguerite from Faust, and even Queen of the Night, Constanze, Donna Anna, Elettra, Vitellia, and a lot of other great roles for a dramatic coloratura soprano. Heck, even some spinto sopranos like Sharon Sweet and Katia Ricciarelli have also flocked to sing Maria Stuarda. And even lyric coloratura sopranos later in their careers, like Beverly Sills and what we've had recently with Desiree Rancatore, have also sung this role. And this was kind of a transitional role for Edita Gruberova, as she was also transitioning from the lyric coloratura soprano roles to the more dramatic coloratura soprano roles that she seems to specialize these days. What more can I say about Elena Mosuc as Maria Stuarda? She was wonderful in this role. Now, I can understand that not a lot of people are fans of Elena Mosuc because some people say that her voice tends to be wobbly and her voice tends to be not to everyone's cup of tea. But what I can say about Elena Mosuc is that she's always been a singer who is truly dedicated to her craft, and I am very willing to defend her until the ends of the earth. She is a hardworking singer who manages to give everything in every role that she sings. And with Maria Stuarda, it's no exception. She's been singing this role for, I would say, 10 years or so, and she shows no signs of tiring, no signs of fatigue. It's still a voice that manages to bloom and blossom all throughout the orchestra. She is a fine actress. She is energetic as always on stage, and her confrontation scene was jaw-dropping. She managed to sing with such pure abandon that my jaw nearly dropped. When she hit the high notes, she hit them with clarion power. And when she sang softly, it is just the most intimate feeling I have ever felt every time she sang in pianissimo. So Elena Mosuc was the absolute star as Maria Stuarda, continuing to use that fine dramatic coloratura soprano instrument, her fine temperament on stage, and she sang everything with abandon, proving herself time and time again that she is a consummate singing actress. Singing the role of her rival, Elisabetta, was the superb Spanish mezzo-soprano Silvia Tro Santafé. Now, Elisabetta was originally composed for a soprano, which should be no surprise as there are a lot of high notes to be found in this particular role. Though it's safe to say that these days, this role has become the providence of many a high dramatic mezzo. Dramatic mezzos who have sung Elisabetta have also found success in singing roles like Amneris or Eboli, Kundry, Venus, Ortrud, Herodias, Clytemnestra, and a lot of other great dramatic mezzo roles. And there have also been no shortage of dramatic sopranos who have sung Elisabetta, like Eileen Farrell, Pauline Tinsley, and even Marisa Galvani. And many a dramatic soprano who have performed Elisabetta have also went on to sing roles like Turandot, Tosca, Abigail, Lady Macbeth, and even Leonora di Vargas from La Forza del Destino and Amelia from Un ballo in Mascara. And even lyric mezzos later in their careers have found themselves singing this particular role, mostly because there is a lot of drama, a lot of flair, and a lot of passion. And that's what you really need in order to embody Elisabetta. You need a lot of drama, a lot of fiery temperaments flaring up here and there, but also a good amount of nobility. And with Silvia Tro Santafé, what more can I say about her? What I always notice about her voice is that it is extremely reminiscent of Agnes Balza's. The color, the way she hits the high notes, and that intonation that she has. All of these factors are very reminiscent to her predecessor, Agnes Balza. And she is superb as Elisabetta. She dominates the stage in this particular role. She has laser-like high notes, a smoky timbre, and at the same time, a lot of flair that she backs up superbly with this iconic character. And her confrontation scene with Elena Mosuc's Maria Stuarda was very well done. You could feel the fireworks popping out between these two divas, and they were superb in every single way. So I'm not going to mince words here. Silvia Tro Santafé continues to be a consummate singer thanks to her laser-like high notes and her wonderful smoky timbre. Alessandra Palomba was a sympathetic Anna Kennedy, and while this role is not as huge as Maria and Elisabetta, you still need a lyric mezzo or even a full lyric soprano to embody this particular role. She does have a fair amount of singing to do, well, mostly ensemble singing, but her role is nonetheless quite important as Maria's handmaiden slash confidant. And Alessandra Palomba did a fine job singing Anna Kennedy, thanks to her finely tuned mezzo-soprano voice. While having a little bit of a vibrato here and there, she still has a fine voice, and she was a superb team player. Then we go to Roberto Lester, sung by the ever so wonderful Celso Albello. Much like his predecessors being Edgardo from Lucia de Lammermoor and even that of Percy from Anna Bolena, you really need a lyric tenor who can hit high notes and at the same time show a lot of lyricism and have a few dramatic moments here and there. A lot of Lestos have also been very well known in singing roles like Hoffman, Alfredo from La Traviata, Foresto from Attila, Arrigo from I Vespri Siciliani, Roll from Les Huguenots, Rodolfo from La Bohème, Ruggero from La Rondine, and a lot of other great roles for a full lyric tenor. This particular role has also attracted the likes of Juan Oncina and even Juan Diego Flores, who sang this role alongside Edita Gruberova's Maria Stuarda and Sonia Ganassi's Elisabetta I. And what more can I say about Celso Albello? He has a voice from the heavens. The way he was able to modulate his tenor voice was superb. And the way he hit a high E flat was something that was very exciting, thus showing a great range that this tenor is very well known for. And he was handsome, vocally and dramatically. He managed to sing this role very well, and he was captivating to witness. And his chemistry with Elena Mosuc's Maria Stuarda and all the other players of this particular opera was quite palpable, especially when it comes to his chemistry with Silvia Santafé's Elisabetta and Elena Mosuc's Maria Stuarda. You could definitely feel the passion, the fire, and the excitement burning within these three characters, and you just feel completely invested in whatever he has to do. And that's the great thing about Celso Albello, the way he was able to modulate his voice, his stage presence, but more than anything, it's his virtuosity as a singer that makes him stand out really well. Then we go to Stefano Antonucci singing the role of Lord Cecil, and what you need in this role is a dramatic baritone with a lot of Italianita. Baritones who have sung Lord Cecil have also proceeded to sing roles like Nabucco, Amonasro, Posa, Rigoletto, Giorgio Germont, Scarpia, Marcello, Il Vecchio Miller from Luisa Miller, and a lot of great Italian dramatic baritone roles. We also have our fair share of dramatic baritones who have sung the role of Cecil, most notably Giulio Fioravanti and even Christian Duplessis, who have basically sung this role and made it their own. And while this role is not that much of a high singer compared to Enrico from Lucia de Lammermoor or even that of Rigoletto, you do need a baritone whose vocal color is rich yet sensual. And there have also been some bass baritones who have also specialized in the role of Cecil, most notably James Morris, who also recorded this role alongside Joan Sutherland's Maria Stuarda. And Stefano Antonucci did a handsome job singing the role of Cecil. He has a tall stage presence, he was elegant to witness, and even though his voice does show a little bit of age, it's still a masculine and virile instrument. Andrea Concetti was superb as Talbot, and what you need in Talbot is a bass baritone voice, an Italian one at that. Any bass baritone who has sung the likes of Bartolo or Basilio from Barbiere di Siviglia and a lot of other great bel canto roles have also flocked to sing Talbot. While it's not as rewarding as, let's say, Filippo II or the monk or the Grand Inquisitor from Don Carlos or even that of Wotan from the Ring tetralogy, Talbot has enjoyed a lot of success thanks to a lot of the bossos who have sung him, most notably Agostino Ferrin and Maurizio Mazzieri. And Andrea Concetti has a handsome stage presence. Tall, elegant, charming, handsome. And he had a sturdy and strong bass baritone voice, which helped his interpretation of Talbot bloom even further. So overall, the singing was superb all across the border, and special kudos has to go to Silvia Santafé's electrifying portrayal of Elisabetta and Elena Mosuc's wonderful and exciting portrayal of Maria Stuarda. These two superb divas deserve all of my praise and all of my love, and I just wish upon them a lot of great roles for them to come, and I would love to see them have a little bit of a concert together. That would be great. So to Signora Elena Mosuc and Signora Silvia Santafé, brava to the both of you. I really enjoyed your performance as the rival queens. And the conducting done by Andrei Yurkevich was also well done. He made sure that the orchestra and chorus played together very well. He made sure that the singers were well paced, and everything went together really well. The same thing I can say about the chorus and the orchestra of the Teatro Carlo Felice. They held up their own really well, and I would love to see a lot more works from this particular chorus and orchestra. So overall, this was definitely an exciting experience of watching Donizetti's Maria Stuarda. And for those of you who caught this particular production of Maria Stuarda at the Teatro Carlo Felice, what did you think of it? Did you feel like Elena Mosuc and Silvia Santafé were the absolute standouts? Did you feel like there was another singer who kind of stole their thunder? Or did you feel like some of the elements didn't really hold up so well? Comment below and let me know. Well, that's all for now. Be sure to tune in later for my review of Wagner's Der Fliegende Holländer at the Deutsche Oper Berlin. So until then, have a great day, everybody.